Hey, Rick Brinkus here at Keller Williams Realty, the marketplace, and I have an update for you. It is now April of 2022, and I've got some new graphs and stats out that just came out in March. So what is happening with the market? It is kind of super brisk and a little bit crazy out there, and the market is beginning to shift. So one of the things is I study homes and prices every single day, and I have some trends that have been happening that sometimes the mainstream media is missing out on. So would it surprise you, or let me just ask the question a different way, what fact has happened in 4 of the last 6 months as far as sales in the market? Would it surprise you that in 4 of the last 6 months, we actually had less closings in our current month than we did the same month 12 months earlier? That kind of signifies that the market is beginning to shift. Now, the last 2 years have been so crazy that it's still a great market, still a brisk market, still lots of sales, but that's something to watch. It's happened 2 straight months, and 4 out of the last 6, we've had less closings in our current month than we did 12 months earlier. So what is happening with interest rates? Oh my goodness. We have seen some changes with interest rates. So the Fed, for the first time in many months, actually raised the prime interest rate. They went up a quarter of a point in the prime interest rate. And did you hear what the Fed chairman said? And the plan is for the rest of the year. They plan on raising interest rates 6 more times between now and the end of the year, and they plan on raising that prime interest rate. They're going to be meeting again in May and meeting in June. They're planning on raising them about 0.5% in each May and June. So that's pretty significant raise, and pretty quick and pretty dramatic is what's happening with that. So what is happening to the 30-year mortgage interest rate? Well, I've got a chart here from Freddie Mac, and they go back all the way to 1971 and kind of track interest rates. And they shared with us that on December, every year or every week, they will actually rate what the average mortgage interest rate is. Now, there's a number of different factors that come into it. Is it a refinance? Is it a purchase? Is it an investment property? What's the credit like? How much money are you putting down? There's probably about 20 plus factors when a buyer will ask me, hey, Rick, what's the interest rate today? But what Freddie Mac does on their chart that I'm sharing here with you is they will take an average, and they do it at the weekend. So on December 30th, the 30-year average mortgage interest rate was about 3.11%, right? Just a hair over 3%. And would you be surprised at what the 30-year average mortgage interest rate is today? It is actually, as of April 7th, it was 4.72%. So that's a pretty significant increase. I can do the math on that. If you're at 3%, about 1/3 of that would be 1%. So if it went up 1 full percentage point, that would be an increase of about 33%. So as you can see, going all the way up to 4.72%, that's very significant from where it was. Now, in the grand scheme of things, in the history, if you look back over the last 5 years or 10 years or even the last 20 years, a mortgage interest rate hovering around 5% is still great in the grand scheme of things, but we got a little bit spoiled in the last 18 months where rates were. So what has caused the market to be so brisk? There's 2 economic factors out there. Economics 101, supply and demand, right? So our inventory has been very low. What's been happening with our inventory over the last couple of months? We've seen it start to increase, right? And the demand, why was our demand so high? Well, mortgage interest rates were so low, so there was a huge amount of demand. Think about it. When the interest rates go up, what happens to that pool of buyers? It begins to shrink a little bit. So we're seeing the supply rise, we're seeing the demand start to shrink a little bit. What does that mean for home prices as we look out to the future? Well, my crystal ball's a little foggy. We're beginning to see a little bit of a shift. We've seen less sales in our current month than we did 12 months earlier, 4 out of the last 6 months. We've seen interest rates start to rise, and in the next couple of months, looks like they're going to start to rise even more aggressively. And we've seen, so demand, that will drop demand, and we've seen the supply start to increase. So if you're a home seller and you're wondering, what does that mean for my home? Should I wait? Should I sell now? Click on the link down below. I want to share with you what we can do to help you know exactly what your home is worth today. Better, I would love to meet with you and actually I can point out some things that you can do to make your house more saleable. I'm not so sure, the market is brisk right now, but I'm not so sure that the market 12 to 18 months from now will be as brisk. If you're thinking about selling, it makes now a really good time to look at it, or at least get the information so you can make an informed decision. If you're thinking about buying, let me ask you this question. A couple of things out there. Number one, how long do you plan on being in this next home? It used to be 3 to 5 years. Today, many people are going to be there anywhere from 8 to 12 years is on average. So again, do you want your interest rate to be at a lower rate for the next 10 years or a higher interest rate? It looks like they're going to start going up. So if you're thinking about buying, makes now a really good time to think about buying. So as always, Rick Brinkus, Keller Williams Realty, The Marketplace. If you have questions, just give us a call and click on the link down below to find out the value of your home, and also like and subscribe to this if you've gotten some good information. So talk to you real soon.